In a previous episode, we finished up our bedroom and I was getting ready to do some detail finishing work. Well, one of the problems I had was I didn't like this white cover for our built-in dehumidifier, so I wanted to paint it. Well, I went to the store looking for paint that would match our walls and I couldn't find it. So as an alternative, I tried to find a contrasting color and I found this dark, kind of brownish reddish spray paint. And this paint, I think, is somewhat similar to our trim work that's going to be in the bedroom. I'm going to try it. It has red tones, even though it's dark, and it could look better than white. I think the white just looks too modern and too white. I don't want it to look plasticky, I guess. So I'm going to prep this, paint this, see if I like it. If I don't like it, we'll try to find a different color, but we'll take it from there. Well guys, the cover is painted and it is dry. I think I'll be able to get that installed pretty soon. I think I kind of like the color. It is a dark reddish brown and it'll be interesting to see how it looks on the wall. Well guys, while I was working on that cover, we got an awesome delivery. Check this out. We got all the electrical outlets for this whole master suite. That's going to be awesome. Now I did order these because I wanted a very specific outlet that I couldn't find at my local stores. It was these old style kind of outlets, but I wanted them specifically to be a heavy duty commercial style outlet. These are gonna hold up a lot stronger, a lot longer than the standard residential ones, but also finding it in the black finish and with this kind of indented look, not the modern flush. It's just, this is what I wanted. So we found it, we ordered them. And now we can start getting all the outlets in, all the switches in, and the covers on. So let me start first with my vacuum port for the central vacuum, and then we'll start getting these outlets installed. I'm just thinking about how I want to keep some of this length, just in case I ever need it. So I'll just tuck it into the wall. That'll work fine. I don't want to... Doing small wires like these are always tricky. We don't have a central vacuum yet, but when we get one, we'll be ready. Did you know when you hook stranded to solid, you should always put the stranded a little further up than the solid?
No.
There's an O-ring in there. Okay. This is just going into the plastic box, so I don't want to pull it too tight. That should be it. And these are the outlet covers that we picked up. Check these out. Solid brass, heavy duty, and they have the egg and dart pattern that we are kind of doing in our bedroom. Can you remind me of something? So as I said, we're using these heavy-duty industrial style, commercial style outlets, and there are a difference between the cheap outlets and the more expensive ones, the residential outlets. They have a thinner gauge of metal inside where the contacts are, and for residential use they're fine. You don't have to spend extra money to get these, but if you use an outlet heavily over a few years, it'll get loose and your cords will be falling out and you'll have that kind of looseness. I just figure I'm going to do this once and do it right. I wanted to get these heavy duty ones. They'll last a lot longer. Now as far as the switches go, since we're trying to stay in theme with the old style home and trying to restore this home in a way that it feels old but new, like a new house built in an old time, I wanted to do something a little bit different with our switches, and I picked up these old style push button switches. And you might not be familiar with these. Maybe you've never even seen these before. I know some of you have. And what these are is this was the light switch in many homes across America from like the late 1800s all the way up into the 1950s. They would have been very common. In fact, I even had them in the home that I grew up in. Just a couple were left and they still worked. And these are reproductions, but it works just like a regular light switch, except for you push a button on, off. So it's on, off. And they just go back and forth like that. We chose to get them with the mother of pearl inlay, just for that added touch, and you can get them all black if you want to. Now I've actually wanted to use these switches for many years, but I never did a home where they would fit. In this home it makes sense. It's really going to feel like a period home, like the early 1900s. Like I said, all the way up into the mid-century, you could find these in homes. So that's kind of a fun addition. Sometimes it's the little touches that make a big difference. Of course, we had to buy switch covers that matched. We just wanted to get them with the egg and dart theme to match our door hardware. So that matches, I'll show you guys, it matches our door handles. And this is an example of the light switch cover. Isn't that cool, that snap? It feels very mechanical. I mean, these would be cool even if you were doing a modern industrial style home. Telling me these would not be awesome to give it that rugged industrial feel where you got these big push button mechanical buttons. I like that. So that's our choices for this house, and we're going to be carrying that theme throughout. So you're going to see those same switches, same outlets. We'll show them again and again. But just wanted to share that with you in case you didn't know what the old switches used to look like. So there they are installed. The light and fan switch. We have our vacuum port. It's a little dark in here, but I also got the bathroom done. You can see we got the wall switch on. That's going to be for the lights and the bathroom fan. This switch behind the door, just so you guys know, is actually going to turn on and off the dehumidifier. And speaking of the dehumidifier, check out the new cover. So what do you think? With the color of the door, that's not too bad. I know it doesn't blend in, but it's better than the white. But anyway, yeah, this one turns that on and off. That way if we just don't want it running, we have the windows wide open, we can just turn it off altogether. This one we have to wait on. This is going to be the control unit for our air exchange systems. So we're going to have a heat exchanger air system in the room, which basically brings in fresh air and pumps out the stale air and keeps the air in the room fresh. It's something we'll be doing later. We'll talk about it then. That's going to be the control unit. Otherwise, electrical is pretty much wrapped up in here. This next part might not make sense right away, but it's something I've been thinking about for days, even weeks. I've really put a lot of thought into this. But last night, I got the courage to start the project that involved cutting a hole in our brand new green walls. As we have been renovating this bedroom, there's one thing that I've had in my mind, and that's how I'm going to get all the power to the bedroom, the bathroom, the heaters, the lights, the hallway, the air systems. We actually have a lot of circuits in this little master bedroom suite. The problem was that our main panel is full. It's outdated, it's full, there was no room for all these new circuits to be added. I just kind of thought I would figure it out as I went. But then more and more a sub panel was making sense to me. I was going to just upgrade the main panel, and I do want to do that someday, but we're not at that point. So I thought, why don't I isolate the front master suite as its own independent section of the house, put a sub panel in, and run all the circuits to a new sub panel. So we wanted to add the new panel somewhere close to this so that, you know, all this kind of weird utility stuff is in the same spot. Now the problem was that with my structured media, this white box down here, I thought of putting the panel, the electrical panel, above it, but then how would I get my feeder and all my circuits down to the crawl space where I need them with this big box in the way? It would be really awkward, and I'd have to branch them sideways and down and have all these holes in the studs. I just didn't like how that was feeling. So we had the idea of swapping them, putting the electrical panel where the structured media was, and now I have a straight shot down to the crawl space where I can run my feeder and circuit. So all the wires will go straight down. The structured media can go up here because there's fewer lines and they're all small, low voltage communication lines. All this is for is internet, phone, cable, that kind of thing. By moving it up here, I can put some PVC elbows in that actually swoop down here and swoop down. So if I fish wire down there, it's going to go like this, around the box and into the crawl space. It's much easier to do 2 conduits than it is to do all the wires coming out of this breaker box. So that's why I did that. That's why I cut this hole in the wall. And I was nervous about doing it because this is our new walls and they came out so good. The last thing you want to do is start cutting them open. But I'm really happy with how this is coming out. It's better than I expected. Now you might notice that the opening was too big for my panel. And that is okay. I actually like that because what it does is it lets me access underneath the box later on. Let's say our living room wall was finished. We don't have access from the back like we do now. I'm going to make a little panel right here that's removable. And then I have access inside the box and outside the box because this is where you clamp the wire. So I can still get a wire clamp in here. I can still feed a wire down and I can easily make holes in the plate from the crawl space. So this is going to be an access panel for future wiring. And it'll blend all in. I'll have it blend into the wall. We'll have our cover on here, our cover on here. It's going to look perfect. And now obviously this box isn't finished being wired. I don't have my conduit in here for my feeder, and I am going to put that in. That's coming later. Let me show you the back of this. So here's the back of the panels, and you can see this is still open because this was the doorway we closed in. So it actually made sense to put the panel here. And I just wanted to show you guys how I did these PVC conduits running down from that structured media right around that box. What are you doing?
Eating pizza.
So now the next problem is we had our white panel, and now we're going to have a gray panel, and neither of them match each other or the walls. And I want it to look good, so I did pick up spray paint for this too. Let me show you. Okay, so this is what I found. It doesn't look like it would match. It's very like tan looking, but it's called Fossil. It's hard to see, but when you hold it up to the wood, and I mean the lighting in here isn't great. Well, it's hard to tell in here, but you can see what I mean. That's gonna be close. So, let's get both of these panels painted, and we'll see how they're gonna look. Am I painting the handle too?
Yeah, just go over the whole thing.
We're just using a Scotch-Brite pad to scuff the surface. Take off the gloss so the paint sticks better. I'm just using some glass cleaner to clean the surface. This will take off all the residue, the oils from our hands, and it'll leave it with no residue and ready to paint. Glass cleaner works because it removes residue. It doesn't leave any soaps. There's no soaps or cleaners in it. It's a different type of thing. And it really cuts all the oils.
And what I'm going to do is take 4 of these screws and paint these also that are used to hold it to the box. If I can. To paint them. And then we're also going to be painting this cover the same color.
I don't know what that is. Just something.
Paint will cover it.
Let me just see if it... There it is.
Wow.
That's my other tip, I guess. Contact cleaner. Takes off
So much.
sticky residue. Takes off sap. Takes off stickers. Way better than Goo Gone.
Yeah.
And again, it evaporates and dries without any residue.
That is screwed up there because we thought that would be a good spot to paint it. Sure you don't want to use the handy dandy paint sprayer tool?
Oh no, this is fine.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
First coat. Good. I know I'm back far, but I'm trying to get it to fan out a little bit. I should have covered those handles.
I would have just painted right over them.
You would have?
Yeah. Just blend it all away.
Well guys, we're going to let these dry, but that's what they look like. I think that's going to look a lot better. And at least they match. They're neutral. They don't stand out. It's hard to believe that our entryway is this kind of tan color, but I mean, it's such a bizarre color that in that space, it just works with the wood, I think.
Because there's different tones in the wood. There's the lighter tones that look like this, and then there's the more greener tones that look more green.
I think that's it. So I guess we're going to wrap it up. We got a lot of little jobs done today, and you guys can see kind of the feel of our room, what we're going for with those new outlet covers and everything. Another fine detail that really adds a big impact. And I should show you before we go, look at all this wood. This is going to be the trim wood for our bedroom. We got window trim, beam casing trim, and some decorative trim, all kinds of stuff coming. So,
And the rest of the bathroom trim.
yeah, we'll be working on that soon. But that's all we have for now, so thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.
See ya.